Hey everybody, welcome to Half-Beard's Hud's Heads Up. Today we're looking at Eidolon, which comes out today on Steam. It's kind of one of those indie walk-around games, which I'm normally not all that interested in, but it's got an interesting enough premise, and it takes place, and its setting is Western Washington State. And being a loyal resident of the Pacific Northwest myself, I kind of love games set in this area. So I always make it a point to play anything that is set in this particular setting. And to be fair, despite the kind of low-poly stylings, they actually do a pretty good job, so from what I've seen so far. The premise here is that it is the year, well, it is some point, circa 2400 CE. Mankind has fallen, for the most part. You know, civilization is has crushed, buildings are desolate, and nature has kind of taken back the Earth, and now we are just kind of walking through the rainy, foggy, gray forests of the Pacific Northwest, exploring things. Specifically, we are in kind of the Seattle area, around Bellevue, Olympia, that kind of area, which is kind of, if I remember correctly, a little bit east-ish of north and west or east of Seattle. I'm from northern, farther north than that. The Canadian part of the Pacific Northwest, so I don't know. And kind of your goal here is just to explore and discover the history, and the way you do that is by getting these documents, which they're all handwritten, and I'll be frank, I can kind of barely read these. But that's okay, because the important thing is finding kind of what they're referencing, which you do that, and then it spits out that, and that kind of shows you the way to those things. And the other thing you're going to be doing is just trying to find your bearings, which by you doing that, you get these old maps. And you can see we're looking at power structure here, see it on these things here, and you can tell that there's one of them here. And just judging by the way that it's put forward, if it's a line going straight, it's going straight like that. Oh, cool, that shining thing up there is another cool thing worth picking up. That's good to know. Basically, you have to use all your Cub Scout skills to find your path. By looking at this map, looking for recognizable landmarks, and then taking your compass and figuring it out. So, using logic, if these things are going in a line, just get right in front of it here, so we can better line this up. These things are going in a line that way. That's a line that's going northwest. So we open up our book, and going northwest, that doesn't make sense. If we're looking at it northwest, that's northeast. I might have gotten the direction wrong, because north is that way. Northeast would be that way. That's northwest. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. So, yeah, you gotta use your Cub Scout skills to kind of put what's here into your brain and figure it out. We're just kind of walk around and follow things. Your goal is kind of just to stay alive. It's a bit of a survival game. Survive and figure out the history. There are apparently over 150 documents lying around, which tell the interconnected stories of dozens of characters across hundreds of years. You will see some city stuff as well, that you gotta find it. The map is enormous. Like, that map here, this is only a section of kind of the actual game. There are pages, as you can see. This is just the map section. There's a lot of map that we could find. This is literally just the tiniest corner of the map right now. And you can also make your own stuff. I wrote this comment because I don't know. And yeah, and that's kind of just this game as you wander around. I slept. I just chose to sleep for some reason. And whenever you sleep, you get a little poem, often with the word Eidolon in there. Oh yeah, and the game gets like the game gets a realistic kind of dark. One of my favorite things to do is to go out for midnight walks. And no game ever really gets night right. Like, that's a big complaint a lot of people have about the Fallout games. Night is way too bright. This feels really accurate. At night, with no, like, street lights or anything like that, it looks like this. Like, things are still bright, but in a very foggy, indefinable, gray kind of way. This is the way the Pacific Northwest feels to me. And that grayness is then put against an utterly just unknowable blackness. And it's beautiful. Oh, cool, I got a bow. You find tools, too. So you get different tools. I've got my compass, obviously, but I've also got fishing pole, and now I've got a bow, so I can hunt things. Because there's fauna. There are bears and all sorts of business. So it's dark as shit. We need to eat. So let's eat all these mushrooms. You can't eat only a certain amount, which is kind of weird. And start a fire. Also, when I start the fire, I'm standing directly in the fire. Oh, what's going on? Kindle. Rekindle fire. There we go. The fire doesn't really provide any light, but it's there, which is nice. Music's really good. It's got a good feel in the music. Let's also take a look at what else we get. We have the Lux device, which is, I don't know what it is. There's this mode, which I don't know what this is. This game's kind of very odd. You gotta figure it out. You get this thing here, which I'm guessing is supposed to be kind of like a map. Doesn't really show anything that useful. And then this, which gives you an idea as to kind of what your state is. I've been wounded. I decided to go up and hug a bear. The bear was not a friendly bear. He hurt me, and then I woke up and I was wounded. So there's that. That's a thing that happens. Yeah, I don't know. I like this game. Maybe it's just the setting. As I said, I'm a real sucker for the Pacific Northwest setting, but I really like this game. So let's sleep again. Got some food in us. Again, we get another poem about the Eidolon, and we're out of food. And it is an appropriately northwestern kind of foggy out. Nope. So let's bring out our compass. That thing is... Yeah, now we can't see a friggin' foot ahead of ourselves. Again, accurate. Very accurate. Yeah, let's get another look at our map real quick. Also, I think I got some blueberries. Let's eat those blueberries. That's not gonna help me that much, but it will allay my hunger a little bit. Let's try to find Old Town. Old Town's telling me to go that way. So that way we shall go, and that way is looking like west, southwest, and on our map, southwest from here. So I kind of know where I started, because I remember where I found that stuff. So if I'm right, we should be around here-ish somewhere. So southwest is taking us to Olympia, which I can see why that would be called Old Town. From here, yeah, southwest-ish. Yeah, if we're where I think we are, that's kind of... Okay, so let's follow that then. And just explore. There's not really a ton to this game, you know, off the bat. You're kind of just walking around trying not to die. But there's a real peacefulness to it. Again, it's a very authentic feeling game. The sound design's really good. The crunch of your feet against the forest debris and the sound of birds, and even there like the specific bird calls. It all feels very authentic, and it's got a really good feel to it. Again, as someone who is a native of these kind of areas, it makes me feel the fact that I get a nostalgic feel out of it is very important. It means they did their job right. And for even just like the low poly graphics, like they belie the complexity of the environment. There is also a dynamic weather system and day-night cycle, so there's that. Guys going out hiking, which, you know what, I'm down with that. I haven't really gotten to see much of the post-apocalyptic stuff yet. I did find some ruined buildings a little bit. They were kind of just like husks, just like little bits of ground. I have seen some screenshots with like big, rusted-out skyscrapers. Because again, humanity fell a while ago, it seems like. So, let's make sure we're still going in the right direction. This one, Old Town. Yep, still going in the right direction, which again is, yep. And we should be going southwest. Yes. We'll bring out our bow, just because you never know when we might run into another bear. Or a deer. We could get some food. You can totally hunt and cook and stuff. I have fished and then cooked that fish. You kind of do what you expect. I will say probably my only problem with the game so far, just in terms of its environment, is it feels a hair barren at times. Just because the forest floor. They're going for the low poly thing. It's part of the low poly thing. There's you get some grass and rain. I get some grass and ferns and stuff, but there's just like the floor feels a little. It feels a little too clean. There's not as much crap everywhere as I would think, as I picture in my head. But again, it comes, you know, part and parcel with the graphic style they've chosen, so you can't really diminish them for that. I will say I'm impressed just with how big this game is. The frame rate's a little... I will say, another problem I've had, this might just be the press build. This is not the final build. While it is out today, the build I'm playing is a press build, not fully updated. So, it's, you know, I've been having... This might just be a problem with that, but I've been having issues with the frame rate, where it's the longer I play, the more it just starts to really dip. Like, it feels like it might be a memory leak issue or something along those lines. That said, it hasn't really impacted things too much. It only starts to impact it once you've been playing for a really long time and things just start to really fall apart. And then it's like, turns slideshow levels. But that's, you know, maybe that's probably something they'll fix pretty quick, I imagine. And that's even if it's in the final version. Again, let me remind you, press build. If I go look up here, it says press build. There you go. Also, as far as I can tell, the game only has one save file. You know, I can just press play, and then it starts me off right where I quit yesterday. I don't really know if there's any way to start over. So that wound I've got, I was kind of hoping like, oh, I got wounded, I should just start over again. I don't know if I've actually got the ability to do so. That said, if I don't find something to eat soon, I might die of starvation. But I see what looks like a fox here. Oh yeah, I can see animals over there. Let's go hunt some animals. Can't crouch or anything. I can jump! Get blueberries. Let's eat those blueberries. Just, again, try to allay my hunger a little bit. Eat these mushrooms, too. Yeah, it's a very, like, simple game overall, it feels like, just kind of off the bat, but there's something very peaceful about it that I really like. Yeah, those look like wolves, maybe. I think they're wolves. Yeah, that's not a... That is going to take some practice to get used to that bow. Huh, this big clearing feels like it's the sort of thing that would be on a map. Are those cougars, maybe? I can't tell what they are. We are going to go run up on them, though. Yeah, it's still a little short. I have a feeling whatever I'm running into here is bad. They might just be wild dogs. Oh, yep, they see me. Hey, dogs! I'm not bad. Nope. Oh, God! Okay, then. Whatever those dogs, wolves, dogs, whatever, they just kind of like one frame. Oh, we're dead now. That's maybe a little janky. That's maybe a little immersion breaking. Is that just flat that flat switch from a live model to dead model? But whatever, I'm into it. Okay, so we've got a big clearing here on a hill. Let's take a look here. Big clearing. Yeah, I'm not seeing that on the map or anything that could be mistaken for a big clearing. Yeah, I still don't know where I am. Oh well. What time is it? According to my thing here. Put up this. This never changes. It doesn't really show a dynamic time. Then again, maybe the in-universe description there is just that my watch is broken. Or whatever that is. Let's make a fire and cook that meat. I'm still hungry after all. Tinder, burn. Meat, cook, meat, cook, meat, cook. That way I've got meat in reserve. Eat that meat. No longer hurt. Smother fire. Let's figure out which direction we're going at this point. Oh, we are not going the right direction. We wanted to be going that way. Oh, there's a fox over there. It's just a very peaceful game. It's very relaxing. I can see just playing this after a long day, just to zone out. Listen to the music. Look at all these trees. Just enjoy the Pacific Northwest. Which, realistically, I could go walk outside my door and do this. Maybe not quite this level of deep forest. But, you know, still. This is a good enough simulacra that I'm not complaining. It's very peaceful. I'm into it. I think it definitely, maybe you're, you know, if you don't have that frame of reference, you don't quite get as much out of it, but whatever. I like the idea that there's that deep story. I kind of want to see more of that. I want to see how that pans out. I don't think there's, oh, there's another, no, that's just sky. I don't think there's a good enough way to really, I don't think the game does a really good job of pointing you in the direction of its story. Like those little shiny bits where I got my bow and arrow. This is also where you get those documents. They're not, like, there's nothing really pointing you towards them. It's kind of just seeing a sparkle on the horizon and walking towards it. And they're very, very spread out. You know, you're not necessarily gonna see them, you know, just be walking from one to the next to the next to the next. A lot of time is just spent wandering aimlessly, hoping to maybe kind of find your way to it. Go that way a little bit. I'm just trying to think I'm trying to reposition in my mind to get back on our path, though we have lost our path entirely at this point. I like the idea, though. Again, there's a fun to kind of using my Boy Scout skills to connect the map and the compass and try to find these old structures of mankind and figure out kind of what happened to them. There's a very good kind of emergent aspect to that I really enjoy. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so pieced out right now. Jello over here, man. Ooh. Lots of trees. Good looking trees. I like that the trees kind of change up and look too. There's definitely a bunch of different kinds, and like, look at this forest. This feels like a good forest. This feels like a well realized forest in terms of density. Like like it works. It works surprisingly well, I think. I think the only people who have done the Pacific Northwest forests as well as I think Alan Wake had the best forests. That's the game that did amazing forests. Though this one, it does it well too. It's got the right vibe, especially when the mist rolls. When it gets real foggy, when all that rolls in. I guess just feels so apropos. All right, I have no clue where we are. There's a bunch of bushes and shit down there. Maybe you should go take a look at those bushes. Maybe they're tents? No, they're like little huts. Have we found a village? Have we found people? Oh, man. Yeah, we found something. These are clearly houses or some business. They don't look like they're inhabited. They look like they have been overgrown at this point. Yeah, they're like little huts, little houses. Doesn't look like these are inhabited in any way. Yeah. Crazy. Well, there's a big kind of structure in the middle, so let's go over there, I guess. It's a very small. I can't imagine this is like a city that has been overgrown. I'd have to imagine this was built post-collapse. I would assume. Maybe we'll find people. I didn't think there's people in this game. I know there's lots of animals. Again, killed by bear. I got all fucked up by a bear at some point. But yeah. Crazy. Maybe this is Old Town. Maybe we totally found Old Town. Oh. The music has changed. Maybe we found story. Whatever this big brown thing is, I bet it's in there. I see a shiny. So that's a good point. What is this big brown thing? Is it supposed to be like a barn? It almost looks like it's not textured. I guess it's supposed to be, yeah, okay, it's a barn. The low poly style I find sometimes is a little too obscure. I mean, that's the point, but still. Yeah, I can't fucking read that. Blame the computer age that my sense of handwriting is gone. Man. Weekly something notes for February. Explain I haven't been in this body long. Express. Yeah, I can't fucking read a word of it. I need glasses or something. So we're in Old Town, right? It goes that way. Oh, hey, here's another one. And we go. Yeah, this one I can read. My name is and I write this today, year of our Lord 218, as a remembrance of the old town and how it came to its final. And I am now, it's possible, the only bodied soul in all of Eden. Okay. And there are like separate pages of that. So that one I can read. I'm not gonna read it all right now because that's like a dense goddamn letter. But still, I can read this one. But like some of this handwriting, oh man, no. I've never been great at reading really intricate handwriting. I've got an aunt who is a very, very worldly, very learned person, and she has this really intricate, beautiful handwriting that I can't read a goddamn word of. You know, she used to send me letters when I was a kid, and I'd be like, uh-huh, yeah, no, not a word. Oh, so yeah, that's Eidolon. There's mysteries in this game that I want to continue to unravel. I think it's very interesting, and I think if you're a fan of these kind of like indie walk-around games, this should be at your attention. It seems interesting. It seems worth looking at. Though, oh yeah, there we go. Now the frame rate's dying. But maybe as an actual game, its gameplay is a little light. That said, I find it super interesting. It's just as like a nostalgia thing for me because of my connection to the setting. So you know, that's its own business. I thought I saw a shiny over that way. I can totally see a shiny over that way. Yeah, this is kind of how this game works. Is oh, I see a twinkle, really, really far away. I guess I better follow it. So yeah, as always, I've been your host, Halfbeard. Once again, this is Eidolon, available now on Steam. I'm not sure the price. And we're out. Later, guys.